unvaccinated.
We've got.
This is a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
We've got to get them vaccinated. And hopefully they will do it willingly.
We have to be more blunt. We have to be more forceful.
If you want to travel, you better go get that vaccine.
You should be wearing masks even when you are vaccinated if you are indoors.
If you wish to have these privileges, you need to get vaccinated.
We have to say something coming out, you don't get vaccinated, you're going to die. I mean, let's just be really blunt to these people.
Get vaccinated.
You know how many years were invested in this approach? About 20 years of science to get us to be able to do it.
20 years is not enough. And 9 months is definitely not enough for nobody to be taking no vaccination that you all came up with.
The only reason I'm talking to you right now, as close as we are, is that I've been vaccinated.
Right.
But if it allows thousands of people like you don't get vaccinated, you're going to let this virus continue to percolate in this country and in this world.
Something like the common flu then, right?
And
it's much more serious.
Well, the flu kills a lot of people annually, too.
You know how many people died of the flu the last year? I mean, not this year, virtually none, but the previous year, about 20 to 30,000. You know how many people have died from COVID-19 in the United States? 600,000 Americans.
Well, the number that you all giving that died, that's once again, that's you all's number.
You gonna pass?
Yeah, definitely. Because when you start talking about paying people to get vaccinated, when you start talking about incentivizing things to get people vaccinated, there's something else going on with that. Something else going on.
It is something going on with
something
it.
else.
You're right. But I'm glad millions of people like me and most everybody here didn't get an incentive. You know what their incentive was? Protecting their health and protecting the city. But I won't keep you anymore.
It's okay, because my incentive, y'all campaign is about fear. It's about inciting fear in people. You all attack people with fear. That's what this pandemic is. It's a fear. It's fear, this pandemic. That's all it is.
Clown World.
Motherfuckers be like, trust the science. Bitch, you don't even know science. Here's a list of things I trust more than the vaccine. Niggas who wear Prada, shrimp from Burger King, a nurse with an engagement ring, a Wi-Fi lava lamp, R. Kelly at a cheerleading camp, the Coming to America sequel, an Asian charity for black people, Caitlyn Jenner psychologist, me, Serena Williams gynecologist, Ben Simmons behind the line, a halal truck cooking swine, bitches who cook with air fryers, the tread on that $35 used tire, the ingredients in a quarter pounder, that bitch with mad money but she look like Sounder, Lizzo with the last burger on earth, a pastor who says he doesn't skim off the collection plate in church, that one blue street light, a bitch nigga in a street fight, Kevin Durant with my password, a salty bitch with the last word, Lee Daniels training Cocker Spaniels, Daniel Cunha living like he Fred Hampton, Dick Pills from the gas station, Joe Biden at a preaching for graduation, Kellen Winslow at my grandmama house, a white bitch with a black mouth, a nigga selling gold chains on the beach, Jussie Smollett with a pocket full of bleach, a woman with dirty looks, my pops for $5 a mad shook bitches who wear bonnets outside the house, Michelle Obama's baby pictures, Sasha and Malia's paternity test. No, nigga, I'm not putting that mess in my arm. Get me all stressed.
Down these civilized people, they'll eat each other.
You are the unvaccinated. You are the problem. It is the unvaccinated who are the problem. Period. End of story.
The only people that you can blame, this isn't shaming, this is the truth. Maybe they should be shamed, are the unvaccinated.
It's time to start blaming the unvaccinated folks, not the regular folks.
Anyone you came into contact with will blame you, as will the rest of us who have done the right thing by getting vaccinated.
Because frankly, we know that we can't trust the unvaccinated.
I think it's time to get our moral house in order, Anderson. It's the unvaccinated who are the threat.
All of us vaccinated folks are going to start wearing masks to protect the unvaccinated folks. It's called a Christian value.
You're basically punishing the vaccinated for the sins of the unvaccinated.
People are not behaving honorably. The unvaccinated are basically saying, well, it's open season for me. I can do whatever I want as well.
The unvaccinated are basically beating their breasts and running around the country saying, we don't care, we're living free, and so forth.
We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin.
The unvaccinated, a group that includes children and people acting like children. And the rest of us are starting to get pissed off.
The vaccinated feel the unvaccinated are making me upset or angry.
This is not about freedom or personal choice.
Well, my freedom is being kind of disturbed here. No. Screw your freedom.
The other day, Howard Stern weighed in with a much different approach. Take a look.
When are we going to stop putting up with the idiots in this country and just say, it's mandatory to get vaccinated? Their freedom.
But you're treading on our freedom and you're making other people sick, and really you're killing other people.
The anti-vaxxers, they seem to have a thing for death and home remedies.
The anti-maskers turned anti-vaxxers are not just putting their own lives at risk. If that was the issue, we could just say that we can watch them compete to win place or show in the Darwin Awards.
We have to start doing things for the greater good of society and not for idiots who think that they can do their own research.
And don't get me started on the lunatics who won't take any of the COVID vaccines.
Life is too short to be an ass. Life is way too short to be ignorant of the promise of something that is helping people worldwide.
Maybe you're doing it because you're disconnected or disorganized. Maybe you have some sympathetic psychological reasons. But maybe you're just being antisocial.
Oh, you can't shame them. You can't call them stupid. You can't call them silly. Yes, they are.
Those who are not vaccinated will end up paying the price.
The unvaccinated should be taxed. They should pay more for health care.
We need to start looking at the choice to remain unvaccinated the same as we look at driving while intoxicated.
We're going to see, and I've said, almost two types of America.
Dr. Fauci said that if hospitals get any more overcrowded, they're going to have to make some very tough choices about who gets an ICU bed. That choice doesn't seem so tough to me. Vaccinated person having a heart attack, yes, come right on in. We'll take care of you. Unvaccinated guy who gobbled horse goo, rest in peace, Wheezy.
Pointing back to the unvaccinated who are really creating a problem in this country, every death that we are seeing from COVID could have been prevented.
Literally, the only people dying are the unvaccinated. And for those of you spreading misinformation, shame on you. Shame on you. I don't know how some of you sleep at night.
But I spent 4 days. Perhaps you recognize me. It's your favorite president. And I'm standing in front of the Oval Office at the White House, which is always an exciting place to be. I got back a day ago from Walter Reed Medical Center. I spent 4 days there. But I spent 4 days there, and I went in, I wasn't feeling so hot. And that's what I want for everybody. I want everybody to be given the same treatment as your president. Because I feel great. I think this was a blessing from God. This was a blessing in disguise. I caught it. I heard about this drug. I said, let me take it. It was my suggestion. I said, let me take it. And it was incredible the way it worked. Incredible.
I would have put a warning on or something on just that particular vaccine. I certainly would have paused it and gotten front page news all over the world. And that people don't want it, and it probably even affects the others, because, it's a big to get it done in less than 9 months. Fauci said it would take 3 to 5 years. He thought it was something that just wouldn't be that effective because it would take so long to get. I pushed the FDA like they have never been pushed before. I wouldn't exactly say they're in love with me.
From the people who brought you.
You'll own nothing and be happy.
Comes a brand new collection of hit songs from our beloved Supreme Leader. Time Lies presents The Great Here Set, Volume 14.
Everybody, jab your body right. Vaccines back, all right. 1, 2, 3 and to the 4. Klaus Schwab and Bill Gates is at the door. Ready to put a patent on air and glass, cause we about to play reset your ass. It's like this and like that and like this and that, so just chill till the next pandemic. Digital identity, you shall have until 2030. No discussion, for it is mandatory. You will see. 15-minute city. 15-minute city, stay close to home. 15-minute city. 15-minute city, or we'll send our drone. You better comply. You better watch out. You better implant that microchip now. Santa Claus is running the town. Every meal you make, every bite you take, every single lunch with a crispy crunch, you will eat the bugs.
The Great Here Set, Volume 14. Get yours now. Available on Spotify and Pfizer Music.
So Willie has what I need. I ordered Willie magazine.
The new Willie means fun and schwerble.
Good times. New levels of slavery. I gotta find this other video now. Hear from your best pogo friends over We Are Change, because they're totally changing things. I'm sure they're boots on the ground.
Full-fledged biological warfare against the people of this world by huge corrupted industries that want you fat, sick, and dead. That's my point of view. That's my take.
Well, they don't want you dead because you stopped paying them money.
They want you close to death so they could still bleed you to death and tax you so you could just work just enough just to be productive, just for them to be able to take something off of. Do you believe there's a larger biological war against the people of this world?
Yeah, so I think the incentives are very complicated. It's very easy to point the blame at large corporations and their poisonous practices and all this stuff. But at the same time, no one's forcing the American public to buy Frito-Lay. There's no Frito-Lay representative coming to your house with a gun saying, hey, go buy this or I'll kill you. The fact that people support this company and give them their money is what gives Frito-Lay, just like any business, its signal as to what to do. They're funding the beast that is therefore poisoning them, but they have just as much responsibility as Frito-Lay does because they're the ones giving them the money. If they didn't like it, vote with your dollar. Stop buying it, and then Frito-Lay would change its policies.
A message from your buddy, Mr.
To
Gore.
one based on broadcasting and then moving on to the internet and to social media has disrupted the balances that used to exist that made representative democracy work much better. Because a free, self-governing people rely on a shared base of knowledge that serves as a basis for reasoning together collectively. But if you have social media that is dominated by algorithms that pull people down these rabbit holes that are a bit like pitcher plants, these algorithms, they are the digital equivalent of AR-15s. They ought to be banned. They really ought to be banned. It's an abuse of the public forum. But when people are pulled down these rabbit holes, you know what's at the bottom of the rabbit hole? That's where the echo chamber is. And if you spend too much time in the echo chamber, what's weaponized is another form of AI, not artificial intelligence, artificial insanity. I'm serious. I'm serious.
Totally serious, guys. I'm being super serial right now. It's me, Al Gore. I'm totally in charge of the algorithm. Damn it. I can't find this fucking video, man. I wanted to play it. But yeah, you guys don't know what you're missing out on, man. These hospitals are where it's at, dude. Where it's at. We're trying to get down with that number 3 cause of accidental death. Shout out to medical error. Shout out to all of the hospitals around the country. How I feel about genuine human interaction. Have I played this one?
Sex with me?
Wait, that's the whole clip?
Are you trying to have sex with me?
Okay, wow. I'm going to have to add that to the soundboard, I think. I'm going to have to give that to OTW. He might make better use out of that. The Al Gore rhythm, who invented the internet. Indeed. That's just the nurse bell. They're coming back. I don't even think that's for your room. Well, I'm live from a military institution. Of course, the signal's going to be, there's probably towers all up on the top of the fucking roof. So, of course. God, where's this fucking video, dude?
Is that my story?
Mm-hmm.
What's happening?
Nothing. The nurse is coming back. She's going to give you, she's going to take your pressure. Take your vitals on you. Oh, here's a good one. Okay. This is deep, though. This is deep. Played it before, but this is a decode of the Space Needle CGI show, New Year's Eve. Now, they've done this a few times at New Year's Eve. I could be mistaken, but I think they've done it every year. Every New Year's Eve for the last few years. In Seattle, the home of the needle, of course, the Space Needle. The home of Bill Gates. Bill Gates' backyard. Check it out. Okay, I didn't realize I was cutting off some of the text there. My bad. So the first symbolism, here, I gotta take myself completely. Try this one more time. It's only like 5 minutes, so calm down. Don't run away. It's gonna be okay. It's worth the watch. mean, doesn't this just want to make you just completely just celebrate like just the total state of things right now? Just the complete and utter slavery, pharmaceutically induced medical error death, third leading cause again. Just had to point that out. Okay. Okay, so does anyone think that was fake CGI? I mean, obviously it was, blue beam, quote unquote, equivalent, but you think it was computer generated imagery? Is that what you're trying to say, Jeeps? I'm open to anything, any possibilities. Definitely that's possible. And likely even in the age of deep fake everything. So what do you guys think? What say you? Couldn't help himself from playing power games and tricking himself on actual. Well, I guess we'll have to keep. Indeed. Indeed. Oh. All right, quick musical interlude. R.I.P. a real
They
one.
are a secret network of international pirates who identify with no nation, no national flag, and no established religion. Their flag is the skull and crossbones, and their god, G-O-D, spells gold, oil, and drugs.
1, 2, alright. Yeah. That's right. Live from the belly. They got me behind the fence. I run shit from the inside. The fucking president of the infamous gang. Get away from my stank. I got that icky cotton picky shit that had you days. I'm a quadruple OG, a old soul. Call me the reincarnation of the pharaoh with an OE. The barrel full of hot lead. Shoot a pothead. Talking that shit about hip-hop dead. Now it's live from behind the gate. Permanent smiley face. Any nigga stunning on the guard, now you out of place. I beat a lot of cases, had to take a L. I see you in the hot set, yep, hold it down. Money is worthless, real power is people. Real strength is in the street where everybody's equal. Fuck jury, fuck rims. Let's spend on our protection. Get armor, get cameras. Get with it, little nigga, this man shit. Real power is people. Real strength is in the street where everybody's live from behind the wall. Sitting staring at the wall. I'm fit to pop out this bitch like a newborn. I'm fit to cut out all the smoking and the drinking, the wine and the spirits. It's evil when you think it, baby, so I'm telling the truth. You live it, then you see it. You breathe it, then you bid. I tell you a little secret, it's a secret. Government that worship an hour. They practice witchcraft to harness their power. Pedophiles rape little kids for energy. It's satanic ritual. WTC. R.I.P. They lit the Pentagon on fire. That's lighting the pentagram on fire. All these bodies for what? So you can scare everybody in the one world, huh? All my crimes is on deck. So if you ain't come for a war, then run. Money is worthless, real power is people. Real strength is in the street where everybody's equal. Fuck jury, fuck rims. Let's spend on our protection. Get armor, get cameras. Get with it, little nigga, this man shit. Real power is people. Real strength is in the street where everybody's equal.
It could. Is it possible, ladies and gentlemen? It is possible he has been shot, and another man, and possibly shot in the head. has fired the shot. He has fired the shot. He still has the gun. The gun is pointed at me right at this moment. I hope they can get the gun out of his hand. Be very careful. Get the gun. Get the gun. Get the gun.
So here's my question, right? Why do you need to provide identification at a military institution such as a hospital? And is there a way to, for instance, visit someone at a military institution such as a hospital without providing identification? I feel like Tribe would... I'm curious to know Tribe's answer. I don't know what they can do. I don't know. What does forking mean, though? What is that about? All right, let me try to find this stupid video. Yeah, I tuned in for a minute over there, Tribe. It was pretty terrible. Pretty terrible. It looked like Paul hopped up for a second, and I actually paused it at a part. Paul had just hopped on, and Flo moved Wizard to the bottom with Paul, and that was where I paused it. Had to start my stream. So. Right, because you're an inmate, essentially. Well said. The question is, would there be a way to get around that without, would there be a way to lawfully get around that legal mandate? If that's the proper term. Here's a good one.
Really dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely 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 dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.
We live in a time where just standing on basic rights is heroic because we're all so used to giving them up day to day that, like, when somebody comes forward and says, no, we have these rights and I'm going to stand on them and I'm going to be unwavering, this has now become heroic. This has become, like the founder said, telling the truth in a world full of lies is a revolutionary act, right? I'm not one of these folks like they claim who wants to overthrow government. I understand spiritually government would only be necessary for a population of folks who have proven they cannot govern themselves based on natural law and God's law. And that's exactly what we have. So I'm a proponent of folks who are able to govern themselves, who understand the foundational principles of the law of this land, that they be left alone. They say these are the most dangerous folks on the land. Why? Because they're talking and standing on what they're saying. They're not doing nothing to nobody. They're just revealing to everyone we have God-given rights, and they're willing to stand on them and die for them. And that's the most dangerous man on the planet right now. Right now, the rest of the slaves, the ones who self-identify as trustees, whether they know it or not, part of the United States federal corporation, federal body politic, they have a duty and obligation through contract to uphold the policies and codes. Because now, again, there's two classes of being. There's a privileged class of being under the law, and then there's a protected class of being. Most of us have opted into being a privileged class where we get privileges and benefits in exchange for essentially our rights by contract. So majority of folks are entering into a contract. They have made themselves a part of a corporate body politic, and therefore they have an obligation to fulfill that contract. If they want to correct that status and that standing and that presentment, and therefore renegotiate on that contract, right, and go back to being a man or woman on the land, then they're not subject to policy and code. They're only subject to the law of the land and essentially God's law, right? A set of laws that's in our conscience. It's discoverable. We can come to know it and do it, and we will create a kingdom of heaven out of that. But because we do not seek the truth and be set free, we are born into a certification program where a legal person is created, an all caps entity is created, and we spend the first 18 years identifying as that entity everywhere we go, taking our birth certificate and our social security down to DMV, getting ourselves a license for a right we already have. A license is synonymous with doing business in commerce. At a certain point, they created a group, a corporate capacity, where everybody opts into in order to be kept safe, right? This is sort of the movement of the idea in my mind of the republic into a demosocracy, where, okay, you identify as this member of the corporate body politic, you're agreeing that you want to be kept safe. And we see this now, where folks are going to their government to be kept safe and being given benefits and privileges. You have a split now, bifurcation, where the republic has now become a demosocracy in a lot of people's minds. There is no more faith structure. There is no more family structure. The state has essentially been moved in as our cosmic parents on every level. They've taught us through the public schooling system funded by the state that we need them. And if you don't accept that premise, then you are an extremist. You're trying to threaten everybody else's safety. So we see the tiptoe and march toward complete collectivism and mob rule and demosocracy, all backed by a technocratic component where everybody is tracked, traced, and surveilled. And if you don't follow policy and code, then you're deemed to be essentially an enemy combatant. As far as the Declaration of Independence goes, policy, statute, and code is only given the force of law through the consent of the governed. So we're being compelled to follow statute, policy, and code, but we have not been given full disclosure and notice, and we have not signed the contracts properly, right? So these folks are running around overthrowing God's law on the law of the land. They're not even banging on original principles. They're just out here harming themselves and each other, doing whatever they want to do. This is ubiquitous. All classes of society has lost their original mission statement and does not follow their principles and their own policy and code. They've just become completely reprobate, ego unbound. They're going to do whatever they want to do because they're going to chase money and they're going to chase status and power, and they've relinquished their original status and power straight from the supernatural. Any man or woman born on this land that does not uphold the original principles, precepts, and philosophy of law, because ignorance of the law is no excuse, you are damned to a form of spiritual judgment. I don't care if you think it's funny, you think it's a big joke. I'm telling you, the karmic and dharmic law of this realm, if you continue to create and stand on wrongdoing and defend it and enforce it, you're going to bring about demonic conditioning in this realm. You've already seen it. I don't know where you folks have been. We're already there. And you're damn well down with it. Most folks think it's just dandy.
Yeah, coming at ya. From the belly of the beast, known as a fucking hospital, brought to you by the military-industrial complex, funded by Big Pharma. Alright, where we go? Have a good one, sir. This is going to be a short one. It's already late here on the East Coast. It's already 3:13. But let me find this other classic video. This is another one. I couldn't find it.
COVID-19 infections and hospitalizations are on the rise, and health officials are pointing to a new variant, EG.5, also nicknamed Eris.
Eris is a deity with a malefic temper, and for that she is known as the goddess of discord. There are two versions about who her parents were. According to Hesiod, Eris was the daughter of Nyx, the night. Homer, on the other hand, claims that the goddess was the daughter of the regent couple of the Olympus, Zeus and Hera, and therefore she was the sister of Ares, the god of war, with whom the goddess had an umbilical relationship. The goddess felt pleasure in causing havoc among men and even among gods.
Symbols are important because, as you see here, it says that there are 240,000 miles of neural threads in the human brain, enough to stretch from Earth to the moon. On every micrometer of these threads, there exists 250,000 units of information. But this data is recorded only as pictograms, only as composite images and not as words. That's right, the universal intelligence, our phylogenetic race memory of every experience that our forefathers have had is encoded in the brain, encoded in our DNA, in symbolism, in symbols, composite images. And today we find ourselves in a world replete with symbolism, images. We have a connection between aesthetics, the portrayal in art, the portrayal in advertising, and an occult agenda. Very hard to accept for some, but we hope to prove the point tonight. To become aware of how symbols are used, because they take the soul up. By being aware of how symbols work, and art, and imagination, we evolve spiritually. But that which can also help you evolve, can also help you devolve, can also help you be enslaved.
And see, the funny synchronicity there is not even remembering that had Michael's there. It's Michael Tazarian in there, the unslaved guy, right? And then we had Paul enslaved in the chat. So, Shaun of synchronicity abounds. Next clip. On to the next. Moving right along. Under the Skin is back, and look who's with me. It's Yuval Noah Harari. Hello.
Hey, good to be here again.
Isn't it wonderful that we've found a way of communicating with each other in the form of podcasts?
I think it is.
And is there some love between us now?
I think so.
I feel love. I look at you, I look at your eyes, I think you're a beautiful person.
Yuval, thank you so much for joining me on Under the Skin.
Yeah, it's good to be here again.
When surveillance goes really under the skin,
We need to monitor what's happening under the skin.
surveillance technologies,
Surveillance going under our skin, especially surveillance under the skin. We don't know hackable animals under the skin. We don't know hackable animals under the skin. We don't know hackable animals under the skin.
Yuval, thank you so much for joining me on Under the Skin.
Yeah, it's good to be here again.
Let's go to Greg, who's calling from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Greg, good morning.
Hi, I think that our country is exceptional probably because of our way of life and the fact that our government is so good to us and they really care about us. They wouldn't use propaganda on us. I mean, we can think back as far as Sandy Hook or the Boston bombing or the nightclub in Florida or Columbine or Aurora. The list just goes on and on and on and on. And there is one thing in common in all of these. They never show any blood or guts or nothing. It's all drills. They run drills that day, and they put it up just like it really happened.
Okay, Greg, let me stop you right there. Are you saying that you don't think that those mass shootings that you named were real?
I'd say 95% of them are not real.
Well, Greg, you know you're completely wrong on that. That people are losing their children, their mothers, their fathers, their brothers and sisters.
You know, the Sandy Hook kids, they sang at the football Super Bowl one year. The kids that they showed the pictures being shot, they actually showed up at Super Bowl and got to sing one year.
Well, Greg, you're completely wrong. These people are really dying, and they're really being shot by guns. So I think you're I know you're completely wrong. So let's go to Kenny, who's calling from Watertown, New York.
God bless Greg. Yes. Yes. God bless Greg.
What do you guys think? Was Greg a paid agent to make us, quote unquote, us, all look like fools with his hillbilly accent? What do you think? Was it organic? I don't know. We got Rocky in the house. What's up, Mr. Rock? Real rock, rapping it out to Z, a rock sphere, not enough to make you fear, not from here, watch.
What? What's going on?
Just hanging out in the hospital. Good times. Fun times. You know?
If you go to a hospital, they'll murder you.
That is true. That is true. That's actually why I'm here, to make sure that they don't do that to somebody I care for quite dearly. Knowing about medical error being the third leading cause of accidental death, of course, in the country known as the United Slave States of Slave America. Being a slave American citizen most of my life, I just don't want to regret not being here for the rest of my life. So that is why I'm here. And I was actually going to go home tonight, and I just couldn't because, it's just hard, man. Fucking hard. But it is what it is. And to be honest, it's a pretty fucking bougie ass hospital. The money that they put in, the money that goes into these places is just fucking insane, dude. It's probably $1 billion fucking hospital in reality. You know? It's actually where I popped out as well.
If you put yourself as a donor on your driver's license, and they find out you have that on your card, they'll fucking kill your brain. They'll stop your brain from working and say you're in a coma and cut all your organs out while you're still alive.
Wow. That's graphic.
Yeah, it's a organ transplant. The definition of death used to be when your heart stopped, but they changed it on purpose so they can make you, your husband's in a coma. Can we take his liver out? And then you're sitting there and you're getting your liver cut out and you're awake and you're watching them cut your liver out. Sick shit. You know you're alive because when they start cutting into you, your heart starts to beat faster because you're probably feeling that shit. So organ donors, get that little red heart off your driver's license, or they're gonna, and then they sell your organs. They sell your organs to people, and then they charge you. They charge you after they just made $1 million off of selling all your organs. Oh, well, we got to charge your ass. We just stole all your husband's organs. That's some fucked up
Can
shit.
you imagine accidentally stumbling upon the organ harvesting trade somehow through the funeral homes or something? Just working there, just stumbling on the vans that come through every day in and out. You just start to poke around and you realize totally fucking trafficking organs from both live and unalive people.
Well, the reason why they changed the definition from brain dead, from your heart stopped beating to being brain dead, is because to transplant organs, you have to be alive. Your heart has to be beating, and then you have to freeze that shit or something. The Chinese, they do it to their prisoners. They just grab a prisoner and cut his fucking heart out while he's still alive, and they don't give a shit. But Americans, we are a little bit more, how would you say that? discreet, We, people don't even realize that if you're an organ donor, you set yourself up to be murdered. And
Yeah, that's why I had to unregister myself actually from being an organ donor. So, not to mention, I mean, I'm kind of in the process of unregistering myself from every slave credential and slave merit, if you will. So, it's a long process, arduous, years long, lifelong, some might say.
yeah, I got out of the system a week ago. I live off grid for 25 years, so I've been out of the system as much as I can without being, stupid about it.
Yeah, it's funny because I hadn't given an ID when it came in, and been here for a couple days now, and had walked around quite a great deal, and didn't have any issues until today. And I got a video of it actually because I hopped over there to Mr. OT Dubs, and sure enough, yeah, I have eight security guards for a guy without an ID. Just complete insanity, dude. So sure
What are
enough,
you doing?
I had my
What you
expired
doing?
slave card on me. What were you gonna say?
What you doing? Why are you in the hospital?
For a family member. I'm not admitted. It's for I'm here with a friend for a family. Yeah, just making
What's
sure
wrong
they
with
don't.
What's
Making
wrong
sure
with
they don't accidentally do anything like they did to her brother actually. Once upon a time, over a decade ago, 15 years ago, probably. Oh, he's getting
What's
better.
wrong?
He's getting better. He's probably gonna get out soon. Yeah. Okay. 1 week later.
What
He's fucking gone.
what's your friend's ailment? What's it?
Oh, a lot of things. Type 2 diabetes. I mean, possibly just had a mini stroke as well, which is why I'm taking it a little bit more seriously now. So. But we don't know for sure if that's what it was. So, still doing like tests to find out and whatnot. But Rock from 2019, all countries put citizens automatically on donor registry. You have to opt out.
Oh shit!
Wow, didn't know about that one.
Yeah, hospice murdered my mom when COVID first broke out.
Oh yeah, I mean this during COVID, it would have been the fucking quote unquote COVID, whatever the fuck you want to call it. During the mass hallucination of 2020 and 2021, yeah, I mean if there was any place to not be, I would say this was probably number one, right? I mean, number fucking one. Probably rather be in jail than a hospital in 2020, 2021.
Well, the nursing home. The nursing home.
It's okay. You're gonna be feeling better in a second. Just give it a little time to take effect. I'm not muted, am I? Of course not. Go ahead. My bad, Rob.
The nursing home that my brothers and sisters put my mom in murdered my wife through hospice. Not my wife, but my mom through hospice. I called her up the day before.
That's another reason why I'm, weary to that too. Wary, to put it lightly. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm the type to kind of just be on the side of nutrition as the ultimate answer to pretty much all issues. Nutritional therapy, You know, if you have nutritional maintenance throughout your life, you know, maintaining a at least mostly clean diet, you don't, I think, have to worry about nutritional therapy later in life. But for most people, on the standard American diet, aka the SAD diet, the word with die in it as well, yeah, it's not going to work out. Later in life, you're going to have issues. It's just nature, you know, running its course. So,
You are what you eat. Yeah. You are what you eat. And if, you know, the doctors would tell you diabetes is caused because you eat wrong, you know, they'd be out of business. Instead, they give you a pill and give you some more side effects. And you got these side effects. Now you're addicted to drugs. And instead of just telling you, hey man, stop eating so much, get off the fucking couch and go for a walk. Yeah. But it is. It is.
that's what I mean. It
I'm
doesn't have to be
65.
so difficult.
I'm 65 years old. I'm 65 years old. I'm still in pretty good shape because I don't eat that diet. I go to the store and there's only like 4 or 5 things in there I can fucking eat. You know?
Well, here, check this out. And by the way, I thought you were about 10 years younger than that, so take that for what it's worth. You're welcome. Check out these pogo optics here. There's pedo pogo optics at the hospital.
Oh, yeah. Shit, I hate that. They got all kinds of optics and shit. They'll have rainbows.
Oh, dude, check this out. They got the vow of silence right next to the whole hospital. I noticed it when I walked around. Every floor, it seems like, has fucking butterfly pictures everywhere. Just monarch, butterfly.
Monarch, mind controlled.
Check this shit out, dude.
Lord knows what's on that thing. Today, if I pay you Tuesday, right?
Oh. Looks like a hospital. Almost. Yeah, hospital person there. That looked like hospital person. Espresso. Espresso yourself.
Espresso. So, what do you need?
Those are nice floors.
This is where I was.
Is that the hospital?
PPP, yeah.
Is that the hospital? It's the hospital. Almost. Yeah, hospital person
Did
there.
they confront you on the camera? Did they?
Oh, they sure did. Maybe that's why they.
Espresso yourself.
They did.
Whatever you need.
Those are nice floors.
What now?
This is where I was birthed, sir. This is where I came out of the womb, actually. But don't tell anybody. It's a secret.
I'm gonna tell everyone.
Wow.
That's pretty crazy, dude. I was actually gonna do a stream that I put off, and there's a bunch of people throwing this up in the thumbnail. Interesting optics. Optics are high, folks. Man.
Another synchronicity.
Super high, man. Look, they got the butterfly. Look at this. They got the Monarch MK Ultra programming here. What's going on here, man? I didn't even notice this. I'm noticing this now. This is all organic. I swear, I'm not insane. Guys,
it's getting weird out there, folks. It's getting mighty strange, mighty quick.
Oh yeah, that I'm gonna have to agree. Hey man,
there's literally butterflies everywhere. Hold on a second. So there's butterflies and the vow of silence. Interesting optics. Snafu, where you at, dude?
I mean, it's getting to the point where you can't even go and buy Costco toilet paper. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, the graphene and toilet paper. I'm hearing recently.
So you know what I'm talking about. That shit'll fucking chafe your ass and dock you up self-assembly style.
Mm-hmm.
It's ugly. Plus the bleach and all the fucking pesticides and dyes and weird shit that gets into that, because it's all recycled products. So you're basically, you know, Lord knows what's on that thing.
You know what's really crazy is just realizing why I'm so like Paul asked me yesterday, why are you so comfortable here, man? You look like I kind of have to be though. I'm spending fucking a year because taking spot for someone else who's taking some time off. But I'm about to go back to the crib tonight probably and do a stream. So I don't know what time you're ending, but
you trying to steal the 3 viewers?
Hell yeah!
This broadcast to come over and
no. That's 3 extra viewers, by the way. We went from 11 to 14 freedom. Okay.
Oh, right on.
Yeah,
we're killing it. This is huge.
Yeah.
This is big.
Yeah, this is the biggest thing, man.
It's happening, folks. In my life and everything. It's almost like life is happening or something.
Yeah, I think, and I'm not telling you how to run your broadcast.
I know. Everything's
I think it'd be cool if before a song you said, "Here's the theme." Like even if you just pull it out of a hat, or probably in your case you'll ask AI to do it for you because that's just
because I can.
Yeah.
So this to me is probably why I ended up being approached by security. Probably, you know, just filming everything. This is probably what led up to that, if I had to guess. Not rocket science. Not brain surgery or brain science or rocket surgery. I mean.
Why not, right? Like AI is cool.
Well, you know what? I was actually thinking about that just while you're mentioning it. I was thinking about going to go see because now I don't use ChatGPT anymore. I use Gemini, and
yeah,
And
Why is
I
Mood,
would
I
ask
imagine?
Gemini to write a song.
I don't know, Tribe. I might be giving him a run for his money there. But yeah, with the energy drinks, I mean, come on, OTW with the fucking energy drinks, bro.
About drywall, you know,
Or
and
whatever,
how it
yeah,
doesn't stick
exactly.
on the wall, and the guy that installs it doesn't know how to install it really, and a whole storyline, like, and actually write a song about, you know, a blues, because
I
you can
love
tell
it.
like it's
That's
got to
so
be a
much
blues.
easier than being creative and writing our own
Yeah,
song.
I mean, fuck creativeness. I mean, that's so passe, you know.
And all you got to do is just input command, and it's like out pops that artistic form that you would have done otherwise. But you don't need to now because now it's
hold on
fucking
a second,
super
Freedom.
easy to just
I have to interrupt you
rely on
because
that.
what you can do is once the let's say like whatever thing that you had it typed out for you, let's say you're reading it and there are things that you don't really like. Say, oh, that doesn't really
Yeah.
fit. You can actually, you know, change it to your liking. You know,
Totally.
it's like then it actually
You can
becomes one of
tweak
your
it.
creations because you modified it.
I can augment the augmentation. It's just like any other piece of technology, just on steroids and super invasive and, you know, data mining, reverse analyzing, hacking the human soul, you know. But aside from that, it's like any other piece of technology where essentially if you use it like a tool in the proper way, it could be enhancing to your life. Like you appreciate your light bulb. Or do you? Or is your light bulb what's actually harmonizing that frequency of fucking nefarious outcomes, you know?
But you know who's the
Something
best
to
at
consider.
actually doing like the whole song? Like I would just like ask Gemini, but Cage would fucking have like the whole song produced, like from A to Z.
Yeah. This is just what I would do, and I'm not telling you how to run your broadcast because Lord knows I'm not a broadcast.
Except Cage would make it in the voice of Joe Rogan.
And I'll probably, you know, drive it further into the ground than you already have, which is fucking hard to imagine, but I think I could probably run up there, from the looks of my broadcast anyway. But the what I would do is if I was in your shoes, in the cockpit, so to speak, in the driver's seat, really taking the reins on this whole thing, I would just ask the AI for the theme. So then people still have to freestyle and kind of find up something creative. But the AI is in cahoots with the technology, so it can probably enhance your algorithm capability. Like maybe ask it in that form, Gemini, how do I get the theme that's best for the algorithm? And then we can augment it and enhance it into what we want it to be. So if you want to put rights and freedoms in there, or fucking drywall, or you know, any number of things, really.
Huh. I never thought of it that way, actually.
Yep.
I'm cleaning my scissors.
It's backwards. You got to mirror your camera, but okay. The SAS Survival Handbook. What is SAS? Oh, I muted you because you had feedback. My bad. Hold on. My bad. I unmuted you. Go ahead.
Oh, it's the special services of the British Army. It's got lots of
Notice the snake.
how to make booby traps, how to do all kinds of shit. It's like a soldier's field manual, and it's got all kinds of shit in it.
Don Juan DeMarco in the house. Don DeMarco.
I also have two
Infinite Waters
two ponds.
diving deep. He always does that as a sound bite. That Ralph Smart guy. You know what I'm talking about? You know that sound effect where you go, oh, you don't know what I'm talking about? Okay. Well, it doesn't really matter. Muted, they appear funny at high speed, flagellating sporadically and such. Wow, two big words together, man. Talk about a weekend accomplishment right there. I don't see me using words like that.
We're full of freaking.
But I'm kind of retarded.
What's this OTW and the Freedom Program?
Oh, it's a jam night. They were doing like karaoke night / or not karaoke. Well, there was no karaoke really, but it was a jam night. We were just fucking around. Yeah, it's unfortunate how little people come out to streams like this. Because it could turn into something way doper if a bunch of people were. Well, if a bunch of people were together and their equipment was in order, that's the main part. If the equipment in order is the main part, actually, synced up and whatnot, no feedback and all that shit. It's harder than you think.
Scissors. Can't snip anymore. It's all gummy. Yeah, I think it sounded good, man. I think I'm gonna start another blues.
Hey, yeah, OTW, the Freedom Grower, and Jake the Asshole. He's a good bass player. You ever see Jake the Asshole play bass?
I don't think I have. I know who you're talking about, but I don't think I've seen him play bass. I never really watched his channel all too much. He's a character though. He sure seems like quite a character. I don't eat jam. I eat honey, and I kiss it on the lips. I have no idea what reference that is. I'm gonna just guess and say it's Adam Sandler. I don't know. I have nothing. Can you help me out here? I got nothing.
I think I know what he's referencing.
Buttered sausage, right. I don't eat jam, I eat honey, and I kiss it on the lips. Yeah, Gary Busey's
Buttered
the shit,
sausage.
dude.
Buttered sausage. Damn, that sounds gay.
Oh, I just remembered the name of the fucking movie. I think it's called Drop Zone with Wesley Snipes and Gary Busey. I brought this up recently. I think it was on Paul's stream or something, where they do heists by way of skydiving. They skydive into their fucking lick. It's the craziest shit ever, dude. Instead of, fast cars or private jet, whatever, they're fucking skydiving into top security, establishments and whatnot. Shit's crazy. Drop Zone.
Well, they had a movie about that. They had a movie called Sneakers. No More Secrets. It was about they went into a facility where they had a big computer and it's pretty much what's going on now. It's called Sneakers and No More Secrets. They landed on top of a building with paragliders. They went in and busted into the computer or something. It was mafia-controlled computer.
What's it called again?
Sneakers. Like, tennis sneakers?
Yeah,
they
yeah,
wore
yeah.
tennis sneakers.
I just muted myself. My bad. Yeah, it sounds familiar. I don't think I've seen it, though. But, yeah, so Tribe, that movie must have came out in the early 90s, right? Am I correct? All right, let's continue this. I want you to see me get approached by the security and then look how many security guards are there for me. A guy without a badge. A guy without a sticker on his shirt. Yet I walked around for days without one. And they didn't approach me until now. And they need 8 people just to tell me to go get a badge. Fascinating. Again, they had nothing better to do probably, so they probably have nothing to do. They probably got all the security out for the one guy without a badge. But let's continue.
Yeah, it'll say do a stream on cupcaking. Wouldn't that be funny?
Not that one. That's too much. It's too slow.
I don't know. It's all good.
How about this one?
It's good.
There you go.
All right, go for it, Dick.
I guess I'm jamming.
Dude, I fucking love that sound.
I tuned down to D when I was when your electricity was out. So I gotta tune my D back up.
Yeah, you gotta go back up to okay, I get it. Swirl, man.
Because it kind of has like Soldano tones and it's got a lot of different options.
Eddie Van Halen, man, you never go wrong with Eddie.
Fuck
man.
yeah, dude, his signature amp is.
Oh yeah. Even his guitars, bro. Even his guitars are fucking out of this world, man.
Yeah.
The 5150, like that model there, that's got that cherry fucking Lost Tiger kind of look on it there. Man, I'd almost have to bring that model up.
I just got an idea for this shirt that I'm wearing and could change it to say Florida Slave instead of Florida State. Maybe try to sell it to someone.
Yeah.
Florida Slave, what do you think? That'd be catchy?
Maybe.
You think anyone would buy that, Tribe?
Pretty versatile amp. That's actually made by Fender. I'm sure they have some slave labor camp in Asian region where they sweatshop those bad boys out.
How about Orange? Have you ever played an Orange?
Oh yeah,
I played on Orange.
A rocker verb.
Insane, man.
They're expensive, man. Those British amps.
Was it the
rocker verb? That's the 50. Tiny Terror or the Dark Terror. Yeah.
No, that wasn't that one then. It was like one of the first ones that came out.
Yeah, the Tiny Terror was the first one. 15 watts, all tube, nice little compact mini head that would go on top of like a little 112 or 212. And then they had the Dark Terror, and then they did like Jim Root from Slipknot signature versions of it. So they had like a bunch of little custom boutique signature versions. But yeah, that Dark Terror is ridiculous. I would definitely be stoked with one of those. But it's kind of a one-trick pony, you know what I mean? It's not that
It's
versatile.
one style of music almost. It's like you can't really.
Yeah.
It's really fucking epic for like if you want to play heavy metal. It's really solid for heavy metal.
It kind of boxes you in.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not my
Those guitars are not the guitars. those amps are still something else, man. The first time I cracked, it felt just like in the movie Back to the Future when he plugs in the fucking the guitar into that mega amp and he gives this one fucking pick a stroke of the pick and he gets it blown out of the way. I was inside of a studio when this happened, man. I was so freaking out, man. Wow. I was like, oh my god, I just became like the best guitarist in the world with this amp.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it inspires you, right? It's amazing how good gear will like unlock. So I say I haven't ever tuned this thing up for tens, and I need to get it set up because I just have a feeling intonation-wise, it's going to really inspire me. Which, that's, you can become a gear snob, which I don't consider myself a gear snob. Pretty much everything I have is stuff that is the leftovers of what I sold off or that I got on the cheap, for a deal for some reason or whatever back in the day. And I can, make do, but I definitely need a tube amp. That's for sure. It's got to be a decent tube amp.
Yeah. Well, for now, I'm kind of limiting myself to the pedal. Like so far, I'm like the tone that I get is directly from the guitar, passing through my preamp in the pedal, and my effects are attributed through the pedal, then going to the console, which afterwards ends up on the broadcast, right? So
right.
So what I've been planning on doing is getting the Vox plugged in, but a little bit further, like down in the living room. Like it's pretty big here. I can put it close to the fireplace, and it'd be pretty far away. Put the volume way down, bring the mic volume way up, and mic the amp, and I'd probably get a fucking even more awesome tone out of that.
Yeah. So help me out. How does this work? So if you and I wrote a song, and we went to the AI and we're like, hey, AI, make this song better. And it comes back and it enhances the song. It augments, it changes some of the lyrics.
I'd have it just write the song to see what it's going to say and, and take ideas from that and just write the song starting from there. Because I don't think AI could write a better song than us.
I doubt it. But my point is how will they handle that with their ASCAP royalties and BMI and all this shit, the copyright royalties? Because if the AI helps you, is it now property of the multiverse or AI at some level? Or is it, you see what I'm saying? Like, what if the AI is where it is writing songs?
It's like the guitar. The guitar is a tool. I mean, to create, right? So when you use your fingers to have sounds come out of the guitar, it's just like using your fingers to click on a mouse to have the AI.
So it's whoever asks first,
lyrics,
I guess. It's whoever asks.
Yeah, but like I said, I don't think AI can out-create or because I don't think it has like metaphors and like personal things that happen.
It doesn't have human error, which is good. I mean, it's not good. It's like human error is good. You know what I mean?
In the music, yes, exactly. And it doesn't have that. It doesn't have the experience of a human. It's telling the story of the song. Okay, like sometimes a singer will write a song and like let's say Guns N' Roses, Mr. Brownstone. Okay, Mr. Brownstone, he ain't knocking, he won't leave me alone. Well, he's talking about that little brown stone that you fucking smoke up. You get it?
Yeah.
But not a lot of people, people that were listening to the song literally didn't get the undertone of what the lyrics are talking about.
I'm not convinced that it could emulate all that though at a certain level that might be very convincing. And I'm not in any way saying that I prefer the technology version. I'm just saying that it wouldn't surprise me at all, even if it's presented that way in the next coming years, right? That like it's incredibly able to layer it and do like allegory and all kinds of multiple storylines, multiple angles,
If it can do that, then it's pretty evolved. Because,
dude, it might be able to code better in some respects than the average human because it can think at so many different layers of thought simultaneously, where even if it's not organic and natural like you, it's still impressive to us from the standpoint that if you could tell one story but tell like 64 different storylines, in one story, and it's able to like interlace all these different codes and just like the Bible, like they say, how the gematria of the Bible.
As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6. There's probably like at least six of these guys, maybe 7, 8. I don't know. They obviously had nothing to do.
And the Da Vinci Code and all these different algorithms you can run on it. We can reverse analyze the Bible like a million different ways. And I've heard so many pitches from these gurus of like, if you look at it this way, it tells everything you didn't know otherwise.
No, so I told them when they were all getting in the elevator, and I'm about to get on with like these 8 security guards. I'm like, hey, look, man, I've seen shatas. I'm not getting on. I tried to make a joke because they were all melanated brothers and sisters. So yeah.
You told them you seen what?
How would something do that? Unless
the movie Shatas, Shottas, with Marley. Was that Ziggy Marley or no? Wait, one of the Marleys and some other Wyclef Jean. So it's a movie worth watching. It's pretty graphic.
What's it about?
It's like the Jamaican Goodfellas or Bahamian. I forget where they're at in that movie. Jamaica? I think they're in Jamaica. I actually met one of the guys that was in that movie one time when I was working at a restaurant, Fresh Fusion. Anyway, let's continue.
Human computer is so docile and dumbed down that like we were that supercomputer, but now we're trying to build it to analyze the Bible like a million different the Bible and the Da Vinci able to like tell one story organic and natural at so many. Dude, it might be able to code multiple angles.
If it can do that, then it's pretty evolved.
Because, dude, it might be able to code better in some respects than the average human because it can think at so many different layers of thought simultaneously. Where even if it's not organic and natural like you, it's still impressive to us from the standpoint that if you could tell one story but tell like 64 different storylines, you know, in one story, and it's able to like interlace all these different codes, and just like the Bible, like they say, you know, how the gematria of the Bible and the Da Vinci Code and all these different algorithms you can run on it. We can reverse analyze the Bible like a million different ways. And I've heard so many pitches from these gurus of like, you know, if you look at it this way, it tells everything you didn't know otherwise. How would something do that unless the human computer is so docile and dumbed down that like we were that supercomputer, but now we're trying to build something to remind us of what we were able to do. That's how we were able to write sacred texts and have them be, you know, full of just
I
all
think
these
that's
different
pretty much
codes.
the ultimate goal in the end is to have I believe human-looking androids able to do everything a human can do and more physically anyway.
Yeah,
let's say
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, it's coming for sure. And I mean,
and all the
they want
data
you
that
to,
they're
they want you to
collecting
fuck them
now-
too. They want you to marry these robots, dude. They want you to like have
all the data,
I guess, robot
freedom,
families or something.
All the data and all of this information that they're collecting is probably for those androids in the future. Right?
Exactly, yeah.
Different voices, different characteristics,
Probably.
different human traits, different personalities. They have it all on YouTube, dude.
Yeah, so they're just building all the profiles out of like different inauthentic versions of the real form and preparing
Or,
it all as
humans that maybe one day we'll never hear from them again. We'll never, like ever speak of them and everything, but they'll just pop up as an android. You know?
But imagine that weird effect where the robots are so real that you are like sitting at a bayou having a nice drink and eating a meal or something, and there's a band playing off in the distance there, and you go up to use the restroom or something. As you glance by and you look and you're like, you can't tell if it's robots or people because it's that convincing. And then you realize, you know, maybe there's some disclaimer that society has to do, right? Like there's a little telltale sign, literally a sign or a fucking some attribute that you'd have to get up close to know. But then that becomes society's plight, right? Is that becomes obfuscated and people don't follow the law anyway, right? If it's a policy or code. So they'll build these ones without that telltale sign. And then you're lost in the sauce. You don't know who's human or not human.
Yeah.
Until you mate with them. And then you figure it out, you know?
Yeah. Wow.
It could get that crazy. But, you know, I would say there will be break-off societies if it really does go that way, because there's no way that there will not be a huge revolt against that, in my mind anyway. It's like, I know they say they can just continue on the path to tyranny forever and we'll just keep sliding down this hill of insanity. I do think there's a point in human consciousness where even the average Joe just wakes up and says, are you fucking kidding me?
Private chat.
No, sir, I'm not going to fuck a robot.
No, sir.
And they'll be telling us that on the mainstream media, right? Fox News, like, yeah, everybody's doing it now. They're all fucking robots.
3.5 minutes.
Yeah, it's
normal and safer.
trending.
Once we had COVIDs, right? There's some like terminal sexually transmitted disease they convince us that we'll all get if we mate. So then everybody's afraid and they're wearing like
just like in
masks on their
Demolition Man.
genitals and
Remember in Demolition Man, you have sex virtually with your partner. You won't have sex, naturally anymore.
Exactly.
And Sandra
It's an
Bullock
artificial
gets,
womb.
oh my God, that's so disgusting. What are you talking about? Here, wear this.
Well, and I mean, of course, what they've convinced the modern woman is that like she doesn't want to have kids. Kids are kind of inconvenient, and you know, if you have one, only pop out like one or something because that's really, you know, the more prudent thing to do. And they got the green movements, and so that a lot of people aren't reproducing like they would have otherwise. And then if they can say, well, there's no pain to birth, we got artificial wombs, by golly, you just pay, you know, the government will subsidize it. We cover the whole process because it's safer and more convenient if we, you know, oversee the development process of your child. And then, you know, you're fucked, dude. It's like, okay, maybe I won't reproduce if that's the only option.
Right.
They got some drone watching you. It's like illegal to organically.
Got 9 children.
You know that would be probably something in the crosshairs on humanity if they could get away with it.
Probably they could. If they got away with COVID, who knows?
I got 9 children.
Oh, think about it, COVIDs, man.
That's
really what we
wild,
do.
bro.
If everybody was worried
Raised
about,
them
you know,
all off
I hate to even
grid.
put that out there. I retract my statement. Never mind. I'm not even gonna go there.
All right, so I'm gonna end the show now. You know, my hydro hasn't come back in my battery because it's like my solar panel, and there's no more sun. So, but 2 hours and 10 minutes isn't bad for a musical stream. So I'm gonna have to thank you very much for being here, dude. I'm really happy you came, and it would have been even more epic broadcast if I wouldn't have run out of electricity. It's the rolling blackouts, Freedom. It's the rolling blackouts, man.
I think that's pretty much most people go through the rest of them.
Oh well.
Sure. And if you don't get a warning, that makes it even more exciting.
Living off
I'm used
grid,
to
you
it,
got to
because
have
the
a
electricity is that quite a bit
hydro.
here. So I mean, intermittently, not for a long period. Just like that, though. You know, for 30 seconds, enough to shut the router off and all that.
Yeah. Well, it's like I want to save up some energy to keep some lights going in the house a bit and keep the internet working until the hydro comes back. So if I want to save some energy,
Cool,
I'm gonna
man.
have to end the stream.
Hydro
Well,
runs
thanks for having me up. And yeah, I still
27
got to tweak
hours,
some things here, I guess, to get so I
7
can hear
days
better
a
and stuff. But
week,
we'll get there. It's always
365
fun. So
Well, maybe
days a year. solar panels don't work that good. Especially in the winter.
Solar panels
Hey,
aren't intended to work
play
well,
that.
so.
Play that. Play that.
Tell me if you can hear me. I'm about to plug in these headphones. Tell me if they work. I'm plugging it in right now.
Yeah. Hello?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but it's not as loud.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Is it good enough? I mean.
Yeah, I can hear you, then I can hear my echo in the background.
Okay. Oh, you can hear an echo. All right, hold up.
Not no more.
All right, so thank you everybody
Yeah,
for
when I
showing
catch
up.
it, I'll try to jump on. Cool, man.
All right,
Thanks.
man. Peace. Thank you everybody for being here. This is OTW signing out for now. We'll be back on Monday for an episode of Out of This World News with your trusted host, myself, Patrick, aka OTW. So this is me signing out from the belly of the beast.
The asshole is a much better guitar player.
Meine Arbeit für richtig hältst. Ob du glaubst, dass ich fleißig gewesen bin, dass ich gearbeitet habe, dass ich mich in diesen Jahren für dich eingesetzt habe, dass ich anständig meine Zeit verwendet habe im Dienste meines Volkes. Gib du jetzt meine Stimme ab. Wenn ja, dann trigger mich ein von dieser
I swear I heard him say StreamYard.
What's the international Hitler was Hitler.
You should try our new prescription medication. Side effects include sneezing, wheezing, labored breathing, trouble speaking, sleeping, eating, hemorrhages, internal bleeding, feeling short of breath, nausea, dry mouth, cough and fever, blockages of the ureter, choking, bloating, tremor, seizures, coma, stroke, or death, mood swings, muscle aches, weight gain, fugue states, osteoporosis, sudden psychosis, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, masochism, vampirism, sudden necromanticism, phantom limbs, fanaticism, chronic deja vu, transient telepathy, changes in your destiny, ancient forms of leprosy, chronic deja vu, loss of hair, weight, smell, taste, balance, vision, hearing, strength, loss of memory, will to live, sense of self, fucks to give. Do not take this medication if you are pregnant, breastfeeding, or a human person. Ask your doctor if it's right for you.
How about that? Okay, I believe this is Jake the asshole playing bass.
All right. Wonder if we're in tune. Close enough.
Just bait. Playing bait. I think it gets better at the end.
Oh. Whew.
Sex with me?
So,
To discover they are looking for synchronized brain
sites were saying the majority of the money was on picks. But people don't like when Jake does the Elmo voice as much as Richie from Boston because they're fucking stupid.
All right, here's WEF on data monitoring.
discover they are looking for synchronized brain activity between your coworker and the people he has been working with. While you know you're innocent of any crime, you've been secretly working with him on a new startup venture. Shaking, you remove your earbuds.
Ooh,
the
battle for your brain.
A Black
What do you think?
Mirror
Is it a future
episode.
you're ready for?
And there
Nobody
she
likes
is.
it, huh?
She walks on stage.
Nobody's a
Oh,
fan.
we can't see you, Bez, on video. Yeah, she walks on stage like, "Hey, howdy, everybody. Is this the future you're ready for?" And the audience is like,
horrified. They're horrified.
There's like a couple claps, like, "Yeah, get rid of those criminals." Yeah,
Just
well,
the CEO and the CEOs and the CIA agents are all stoked on.
Here's
Gonna want to
another
miss
goodie.
this one. So I've been seeing a lot of smart cities, and I decided to do a little digging myself. According to the World Economic Forum's website, 36 cities over 22 countries are participating in these smart cities, but many more is to come. So what is a smart city? Smart city stands for Surveillance Monitoring Analysis Reporting Technology. Basically, a digital ID will be given to every resident that will track in real time all of their daily movements, their activities, their spending habits, even their carbon footprint. They will be given 15-minute travel times to complete their daily activities unless they have a permit. And if they exceed those 15 minutes, they can be denied access to their spending and their activities that they need to do for the day. So of course you're like, I'm not going to move to one of those cities, right? Well, here's the thing. Because of the laws governing the Agenda 2030 land development, the government can actually seize polluted lands and force the residents to move. So if the government deems the land and water around you polluted, they can force you to move from your homes to these cities. So all of these train derailments, food processing plant fires, and other ecological disasters that are happening, they're beginning to make a lot more sense now.
Yeah. They killed all the fish in my creek. Damn government.
Check this one out.
Virtually every mass shooting, every circumstance where a large number of people have been victimized and lost, I've spoken to. I learned a long time ago what you've all learned in your life.
One more time for safe measure.
Virtually every mass shooting, every circumstance where a large number of people have been victimized and lost, I've spoken to. I learned a long time ago what you've all learned in your life.
All right, so I also have a video prepared here.
Something wrong with his mask.
Yeah, there's something wrong with it. It's dysfunction. It's malfunctioning there. But
Yeah,
this
and
is
his mask. He's
Go ahead,
touched
go
his chin too much. He's touching his chin too much as his mask is like falling off or something.
kind of looks like he's almost maybe pressing some button on it or something. I don't want to go to theorizing, but
Yeah, it's an AI or some kind of robot. Who knows?
I can't remember what
Bullshit.
movie that I watched recently where someone's wearing a. Oh, it was Black Widow. I had never seen it. It's a dope movie, man. I'm not like a Marvel. I'm not a movie buff in general, really. I mean, I could say I was, but I was never like a Marvel. I watch all the Marvel movies. I've seen a small fraction of the Marvel Enterprise, as the fanboys and gals call it. But yeah, that Black Widow is a badass movie, and I actually just watched Fantastic Four from 20 plus fucking years ago for the first time. Also,
You ever watch Mission Impossible?
Of course, it's classic, pre-crime.
And they showed you all the Mission Impossible. That was back in the 70s.
I'm thinking of Minority Report, but yeah, Mission Impossible. I've seen both of them. I got my Tom Cruise movies mixed up there.
Yeah, that was the MIA, and they were showing you that they put mask on every time they went in on a mission. They always had a mask on. CIA, Mission Impossible, and it was about the they worked for the International Monetary Fund. That's who they work for.
Yeah, MI5, MI6, and the IMF, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Or sorry, not the MI5 and the MI6. It's in that movie. It's the MI5, I think. But
yeah, all the movies.
Same with Minority Report.
They had that one movie about that guy wore a top hat, and I forget the name of it, but they showed a place where ex-agents went to, and it was an island, and they lived the rest of their life on an island somewhere after they retired from the I think it was the MI6. It was a British film, The Revengers, I think it was called. Yeah, The Revengers or something like that.
The Avengers?
The Avengers, yeah. That movie, one of their movies showed that when they retired, one guy tried to escape from the island. Like he was an ex-Avenger, and he tried to escape, and they hunted his ass down. That movie had a lot of...
So this is just a trailer. I haven't seen this, but it looks like it's a multi-part series. So if I'm intrigued by the trailer, then maybe we'll mirror some of the series. Although it is a little probably risky on a platform such as this. But Never Again, a documentary trailer of the global Jabicide Holocaust of the NWO. Never Again is now global. Is history repeating itself? It's a 5-part docuseries from a Holocaust survivor and director Vera Sharav. Now, I might be mistaken, but I could swear that Vera Sharav was the Holocaust survivor that came to speak when I was younger at the school or temple that I went to, because I was raised Jewish. I went to temple and like Hebrew school and shit. It's one or the other, but that name sounds familiar. I think I met her. Let's check this out, though. I could be getting my Holocaust survivors mixed up, but there aren't many left. So, at this point,
those who are responsible for the pandemic have used two of the weapons that the Nazis used, which was fear and propaganda. Propaganda feeds the fear, foments it, hardens it. At that time, the fear was against Jews who were accused of being spreaders of infectious disease.
Yeah, that sure looks like her.
That I realized and was horrified by was that medicine under the Nazis had been totally taken over by government. And so I realized that panic was being fomented so that people would lose confidence in their ability to discern things. And so the best way is listen to public health officials, the experts.
The thing that'll get us back to the world that we had before coronavirus is the vaccine and getting that out to all 7 billion people.
Bill Gates assumes the mantle of one who has authority in the medical public health field.
There's never been a public health. The only health that ever existed is the individual's health. Every single medical procedure or medical practice needs to be considered with regards to how does it affect this individual patient? Is it necessary?
Why did all of you cooperate? And here's the interesting answer. The Nazis never presented themselves as negative, destructive people. They presented themselves as a party who is trying actually to make things better. And that's what they told people. When you were taken to a ghetto, it was for your own protection. When you were taken to your camp, you were told, we have work for you there, and food, and shelter. We want to help you.
My grandfather, who was in the French army, he got into camps, and he always feared after that normal doctors. He saw them doing all kinds of experiments on people, entering the barracks with huge syringes and things like that.
There were people sent in Australia to camps, and they didn't kill them there. But the process that we're going through is part of what they were doing to them. Most people just think, well, we need to do what the government says, and they want what is good for us, and they trust them, and they think that's the way it is. It's so scary that you can understand what happened there, that happens again.
It's a deja vu, I feel exactly. I mean, people tell us what to do now. People are telling us how to do, how to go, what to shop.
We went like sheep in the Second World War. It's happening now all over the world with this COVID. I'm against people who are telling me what to do with my body because it's a lie, it's a big lie. When people are so blind, I can't stand it. I have to try to convince them to open their eyes, to open their ears, not to go like sheep.
It's a race between enslavement and expansion of global human consciousness. Because there are many, 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 many more of us. I'm advocating for nonviolent civil disobedience and absolute rejection of all the mandates. Resist.
Well, that was pretty good. I just remembered, though, I have this as well. 4 different videos. I was thinking of playing the shortest one because it's the shortest, and I want to get out of here. It's already late. It's almost 4:20 a.m. on the East Coast. So it's Big Pharma versus Wim Hof, a Mulligan Brothers documentary. You know about this Wim Hof fella, Mr. Rock?
No.
No idea?
No, there's a lot of doctors coming out telling everybody the truth. I can't keep up with all of them.
Well, so this is a guy who got he got known for a lot of things, but one of them was for injecting in a medical setting, having E. coli and some other contaminants and bacteriums injected into him in a medical setting, and showing how with the power of intention and directed energy, so to speak, and some other practices, you can beat any of that nonsense.
Yeah.
It's mind over matter, essentially, on steroids. So
I heard about that too. You can cure stuff with
does it sound interesting?
Yeah, it's like intention, where there was a doctor that taught to speak good and speak positive or something. He was a doctor in Spokane and Portland, Oregon, and when he was the doctor there doing this for the whole city, it was called the healthiest city in the United States at the time. He had a radio broadcast, and he had a hospital where he cured people with talking the truth and positive. I don't know. It was Christian based anyway, and he was a pastor. And Spokane and Portland, Oregon were the healthiest cities in the nation at the time he had his radio broadcast, and it was basically it had something to do with you telling yourself the truth and stuff, like just the truth, and positive reinforcement. It was like, and stuff like that or something. I don't know. But I guess it worked. But they shut him down. Of course, they shut him down in like 1934. So this was and then World War I, we know that the first pandemic, that was all from shots too. It was all
Allegedly. But no,
yeah.
supposedly the number one cause of death in the Spanish flu was bacterial pneumonia. Well, how do you get bacterial pneumonia? Well, I could tell you one way. If you wear a bacteria-soaked diaper on your face, it's probably one way to get it pretty easily.
Back in the 1918s, they were pushing that mask thing too. That you should wear a mask.
Again, not medical advice, folks. Trust the experts. Get your treatments. Take all the pills you could take as possible for safety, of course, for safety.
My kids I never got my kids vaccinated. I snuck them out of the hospital whenever I could before they'd get any shots. And then I never gave them shots, even a tetanus shot. Never. They never got sick. They never got nothing. And they're really healthy now, and they're all working on their own.
Well, it sounds like you weren't being very safe then, is what I get out of it.
I know more cures but I know more cures than doctors and shit. And I knew that long time ago that shots were no good for you. But way back, And then I got all the mercury fillings out of my mouth. They put me in when I was 10 years old. I went in with I had one sore tooth. There was no hole in my mouth. I had just one sore tooth. I went in and all my teeth had fucking mercury when I went out after they had been starting working on me, like mercury, because I was smart. So they tried to dumb me down. So they put mercury next to my brain, tried to make me go crazy. I'm telling you. Yeah. Damn doctor. I mean, when you take the mercury fillings out of your mouth, it's considered toxic waste, and the dentist has to dispose of it, toxic waste. But they put it in your teeth, right next to your brain. Come on. We kids in the 60s, I remember when they started pushing that dentist shit on us. My mom, I go to the dentist. I have a sore tooth, Mom. I shouldn't have told her I had a sore tooth. Never tell your mom you have a sore tooth. Drink some raw milk. Forget about it. Yeah, raw milk can make your teeth better. That's why the Amish are being, you can't have raw milk no more, because your teeth will fix themselves.
Well, everyone knows that raw milk, is the product of terrorists. So you basically have to be a terrorist to drink raw milk, is what I've gathered.
Yeah.
That's what the TV told me.
Anti-government.
So
Yeah. You got them damn Amish. Them sucking rebels.
Yeah, the Amish are essentially just the most evil group that there is when you think about it. I mean, they make Mossad and Hamas look like hummus and mustard.
Yeah, they have a very strict culture. They grow up and they get out of school by 8. They're homeschooled, and then they have their own schools, and they go against. They don't teach any of that government stuff, and so they're real evil. And then by the time 8th grade, they go on the job training, start building houses and working in the farm, and their schools they don't have janitors because they learn to be the janitor. They do their own janitor work, and they learn when they're growing up that you got to have chores. And then, they don't have electric power though. They got horses and buggies and shit. But them kids, they're running a lemonade stand by the time they're 8 years old, and thousands of customers making all kinds of money. Well, I don't know I guess they're making money, but I don't know. It's kind of weird. Goddamn. Sons of bitches going there. And then they get raided by the milk squad, the milk squad. Your milk hasn't been pasteurized, and all the nutritions haven't been killed out of it, you sons of bitches. You gotta pasteurize and homologize it. Make it homo. You gotta homologize your freaking milk so it'll make everybody a homo. Damn fucking Amish. You better you better start getting a little more gay there. Sorry, I went up on a rant.
Okay, so I changed my mind. I'm going to play a Jay Wilderness classic. It's actually, I think, his most viewed video on his channel. What's going on? What's going on? What everyone was asking back in 2020, 2021. And now, if you're still asking what's going on, to those who are still dropping, the ones who made it this far, I don't know where you've been, but yeah, check it out. The following content may contain graphic or
How do they
violent
misuse PCR to estimate all these supposed free viral RNAs that may or may not be there?
My life is still trying to get up that great big hill of hope for a destination. I realized quickly when I knew I should that the world was made up of this brotherhood of man, for whatever that means. Into a crisis times when I'm lying in bed just to get it all out what's in my head, and I am feeling a little peculiar. And so I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high and I scream from the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I say, hey, yeah, yeah, hey, yeah, yeah. I said, hey, what's going on? And I say, hey, yeah, yeah, hey, yeah. I said, hey, what's going on? And I try. Oh my God, do I try? I try all the time in this institution. And I pray. Oh my God, do I pray? I pray for single day for revolution. Into a crisis times when I'm lying in bed just to get it all out what's in my head. And I am feeling a little peculiar. Into a wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high and I scream from the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I say, hey, yeah, yeah, hey, yeah, yeah. I say, hey, what's going on? And I say, hey, yeah, yeah, hey, yeah, yeah. I said, hey, what's going on? And I say, hey, yeah, yeah, hey, yeah, yeah. I said, hey, what's going on? And I say, hey, yeah, yeah, hey, yeah, yeah. I said, hey, what's going on? Years and my life is still trying to get up that great big hill of hope for a destination.
What's going on? Hey, hey, hey.
I want to ask this to Carrie. How do they misuse PCR to estimate all these supposed free viral RNAs that may or may not be there?
I think misuse PCR is not quite. I don't think you can misuse PCR. No, the results, the interpretation of it. See, if you can say, if they could find this virus in you at all, and with PCR, if you do it well, you can find almost anything in anybody. It starts making you believe in the sort of Buddhist notion that everything is contained in everything else, right? I mean, because if you can amplify one single molecule up to something that you can really measure, which PCR can do, then there's just very few molecules that you don't have at least one single one of them in your body. Okay, so that could be thought of as a misuse of it, just to claim that it's meaningful, but. The real misuse of it is that you don't need to test for HIV. You don't need to test for the other 10,000 retroviruses that are unnamed, also in the subject. See, somebody that's got HIV generally is going to have almost anything that you can test for because they have definitely. HIV is a fairly rare virus. There's only 1 million of us out of 250, 300 million people in America that have that virus. So you have to get around. Either your mother had to have it and pass it to you, or you have to really be paying a lot of attention to people that do have it and paying only attention to them and get a pretty good chance of getting it that way. It's hard to get it, but if you have it, there's a good chance you've also got a lot of other ones. Because you've been in the market where it's been possible for you to get a lot of. To test for that one and say that has any special meaning is what I think is the problem. Not that PCR has been misused. It's like it's not an estimation. No, it's a really quantitative thing. It tells you something about nature and about what's there, but it allows you to take a very minuscule amount of anything and make it measurable and then talk about it in meetings and stuff like it is important. See, that's not a misuse. That's just sort of a misinterpretation. It is. No, there's very little of what they call HIV, and what's been brought out here by Philpott and Odysee already. The measurement for it is not exact at all. It's not as good as our measurement for things like apples. An apple is an apple. You know, you can get something that's kind of like, if you got enough things that look kind of like an apple, you stick them all together, you might think it's an apple. But and HIV is like that. Those tests are all based on things that are invisible, and the results are inferred in a sense. PCR is separate from that. It's just a process that's used to make a whole lot of something out of something.
Also,
it doesn't tell you that you're sick, and it doesn't tell you that the thing you ended up with really was going to hurt you or anything like that. So it's not.
So even if you believe in HIV, it can't tell the difference between virus particles or active live virus. I mean, there's a lot of questions.
In some of the most secure labs in the country, scientists are already preparing for the next pandemic. It's just called Disease X for now, because nobody knows for sure which virus will cause it. But at its Porton-Down complex, the UK Health Security Agency is scanning the horizon for threats and starting work on vaccines just in case.
What we're seeing is a rising risk globally. Now, some of that is because of things like urbanisation, where you may get species jumping, so virus jumping from, as we've seen with bird flu, into humans. Some of it is because of climate change, so this is a growing risk agenda, but then it's one that we can use our science actively to prevent human impact.
It took a little under a year to develop the COVID jab. The target for a vaccine in the next pandemic is just 100 days.
Last week, the Wiltshire Research Centre hit the headlines having announced the development of a vaccine against bubonic plague. It could be vital for protecting British troops in another war against Iraq. It's times like these when we want to put our trust in scientists. But what do we know about the track record of Porton-Down?
What we're finding out now is that people outside Porton-Down, people in the West Country, that they were also part of Porton's experiments.
How far can we trust the men in white coats? Rob Evans is a journalist who's researched hundreds of Porton-Down experiments. The ex-servicemen who were at the heart of the germ warfare trials are fascinated by his tale of the Land Rover. The scientists in the Land Rover were from Porton-Down near Salisbury, set up in response to the use of mustard gas in the First World War. It's the oldest centre in the world for research into chemical and biological warfare. The Porton scientists made the West Country their outdoor laboratory.
The two mobile laboratories left Porton and travelled to Weymouth.
The local people, although they didn't know it, became their guinea pigs. All the trials had one aim, to discover the effects of a germ warfare attack on Britain. One series of trials filmed here by the Porton scientists was to spray germs from a ship onto the Dorset coast at Lyme Bay.
And the order was given for the sprays to be turned on.
The germ they used here, a form of E. coli, had been cultured from a lavatory seat back at Porton. They conducted massive air trials with another compound, zinc cadmium sulfide, the same chemical being used by the scientists in the Land Rover.
They were spraying out zinc cadmium sulfide in the middle of the day when there were lots of people walking around, and it was being done at lunchtime. And I think that of all the 100 and 200 trials that Porton did with zinc cadmium sulfide, I think this is the one trial that people got the biggest dose.
But the startling shock for the older Porton volunteers is the story of 38-year-old Ian Fuchs. He was 19 and a signalman stationed in Germany when he came to Porton in 1983.
Now I take to one side and said, well, look, we'd actually like to test nerve agent on you because you've got an excellent lung capacity.
He didn't realise there might be a problem until a television report about the Madison death 16 years later.
I asked them what were the long-term health implications of my taking part in this experiment. They said, oh, there's no long-term health implications. They've been running these tests for years and there had never been a problem.
They said to you, there has never been a problem?
They said to me, there has never been a problem. If I'd known about Ronald Madison, I would never have agreed to do the test at all. And this is a time when Porton Down needs every ounce of credibility it has got. And at the moment, there is no, to my way of thinking, there is no credibility. How can we trust what they say?
The Ministry of Defence themselves don't rule out the possibility of carrying out the trials again. But there may come a time when Porton Down and the British government would want to carry out more trials again.
What I need is panic. Make me a plague, Doctor.
A group of rogue scientists have been brought together.
The most vicious outbreak has yet to occur.
To develop the world's deadliest virus.
What if we create a strain that we can't control?
You gotta help me! You gotta help me!
But they never imagined
She's infected.
their own creation, God forgive me, would be tested on them.
We're in here!
For those who are not familiar with this acronym, what is CEPI? How long has it been around? What does it do?
Okay, so CEPI is a public-private partnership that's been established since January of 2017.
Not that long ago.
No, it's brand new. We're about 16 months into its existence. We were established at Davos in 2017 to develop vaccines against epidemic disease threats. It was really a byproduct of the Ebola epidemic in 2014, 2015, and a realization that the world needed to be better prepared for these threats.
Disease X is a placeholder for unknown disease. The first time we used the terminology was in 2018. The discussions were in 2017. I was just new Director General. When the next pandemic comes, the world must be ready, more ready than it was this time.
We need more money to plan for the second pandemic. There's going to be another pandemic.
Leaders gathering in Davos, Switzerland this week are going to discuss disease X, a hypothetical virus 20 times deadlier than COVID-19. Addressing a global pandemic is also something that a next U.S. president might face.
You see this thing developing in time into an industry almost of various gene editing mechanisms that we can use from bacteria.
Imagine this whole kind of virtual toolbox that's going to be available, and in the future, when some kind of genetic manipulation is desired, one will be able to go to that virtual toolbox and pull off the shelf the appropriate tool to do the job.
Alright, y'all, it's been real, but it's late as hell. So I'm gonna get the hell out of here. I'm gonna hit the cot, y'all. Get it? Cot? But seriously, it's like a cot, this thing, this bed. It's like one of those cheap fucking cots. Alright, I'm out of here. Peace, prosperity, and pineal power. That reminds me of that time I was little and I rolled into a cot and busted my upper lip. Alright, I'm gonna get out of here. I love you. I'll see you.